the big worry is Florida's given up so many explosives, and it's because what would be a short pass turns into a 70-yard game because they can't tackle or can't fit a run gap, and a running back takes off for a 60-yard run. So at the same time, are you catching a break? Yeah, of course. I don't want to take anything away from Jordan Travis with that. That would be a disservice to him saying that's not Florida's catching some sort of a break there. But that doesn't mean Florida State still can't have a lot of success because of what we've seen from this Florida defense this year. And I would expect Florida State to probably lean a little more on the run game, especially being at the Swamp. It's a night game, and the crowd to be ready. So probably see what Rodemaker does early on. If he's comfortable, then you probably keep the playbook a bit open. But if it gets to him a little bit, then still Florida's got to still be able to stop this FSU run game, and that would still be my biggest worry. Outside runs, where FSU really excels, is where Florida's defense has been really hurt this year in the run game. So if I'm Florida State, I'm at least trying to establish the run, and if it's there, I'm not forcing the pass. I know you. Thing is catch-22 because you want to be able to use Cam Coleman. You want to be able to use the weapons Florida State has on the outside as well. And look, if Florida State's running the ball, that sets up for some big plays with those guys. But I don't know consistently if I would see a passing attack from Florida State if that run game is working. So that would be my biggest worry is, Jordan Travis or not, that FSU run game with the running backs was going to be my big issue anyway.
Yeah. Big picture in this, do you have a favorite moment from this rivalry?
Oh, I'd like to go somewhere else besides 97, but,
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I'd like to, just because, it ruined Florida State's season, but for Florida, it was a year coming off of a national championship, and it was kind of somewhat disappointing, but you got the big win at the end of the year. I know it's off the beaten path. The 2012 game, E.J. Manuel quarterback for FSU, Florida, and Jeff Driscoll leading the way, Will Muschamp, and the year that he put together, and that was a knockdown, drag-out type of game there in Tallahassee in 2012. Florida's defense really shows up in the second half of that game, and really part of that game also was Florida on an outside shot was still fighting for a BCS spot there. USC and UCLA were playing, and USC Notre Dame and USC were playing, and Notre Dame barely escaped. If they had lost that game, Florida maybe had an outside shot at a BCS spot there. But 2012, I know there wasn't many. I mean, I could go national championship 90s and Florida State facing each other, but those are the givens. I'll say off the beaten path that 2012 game.
Yeah. I really like 03. I know UF fans hate it. 03 was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm younger, so I was like 13 when that game happened. So like that's like when you're really like into it. Like I remember like the 99 championship, but like barely, right? Like how much do you really remember as 9-year-old? But like 13, you're starting to like you're in like every weekend you're like cutting out the newspaper and so 03 was fun. The day Tebow graduated, one of my favorite moments in Florida State history. But then for real, like 2010, like when it started to turn around, kind of the same way, off the beaten path, but like 2010, like it started to go back the other way. Like that felt good. Like to finally get the monkey, 2013 was fun, of course, like you win by $1 million in the Swamp, and anytime you were going to it, but like 2010 was cool because you could feel like, okay, something's starting to change here. And it did for a little while. So big picture, Florida's offense has been, I'll say, good recently. Mm-hmm. They've scored 30 plus in I think 5 of the last 6 games. The only one they didn't was against UGA. And Florida State's defense hasn't given up 30 all year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna rubber meets the road here. Somebody's streak or trend is going to continue or stop. Do you think Florida can go over 30 again this weekend, or do you think they're probably under against this Florida State defense and a new quarterback? Like which way do you see that trend going?
I think I'm going under, and I think I'm going that way because explaining the FSU run game, I think Florida wants to run the ball to protect Max Brown a bit as well. So I can see both teams really leaning on the run game, and this ended up like a 27-24 type of final score. Either team I think you lean on both teams leaning on the run game like I think they will. So I really can't see Florida not getting their 30, and maybe not because they don't. I don't want to say try because that might be the worst way, but part of a game plan just to help your quarterback out is maybe to slow the game down a little bit. Now, just look, with both these defenses, it could turn into a run game shootout. They could be hitting explosives up and down the field in the run game. But I think given the backs both teams have that can really help their quarterback, I think it could speed this game up a bit, and the run game keeps the scores down.
So flip it the other way. Florida's defense has been the anti-Florida's offense. They've not been good. In fact, they've given up 30 and I think 6 of their last 7, and just not been great defensively by any means. Florida State has been a pretty good offense, but again, no Jordan Travis this weekend and a slower running game. How do you think, and again, I know Tate's kind of a question mark, maybe not as much as Brown, but how do you think Florida's defense, they actually look good at times against Missouri. They forced a stop late before the final drive, but do you have, I'm not trying to sound like such a negative Nancy. Do you have any hope for Florida's defense this weekend?
I really don't. I mean,
I just ask it. Just I'm beating around the bush.
No, it's where it is. I mean, the truth hurts sometimes. That's where I go with. I know, even when I talk about Florida's defense and people, I can't you be. What is there to be positive about? I mean, the only positive is, you're playing a bunch of young guys and you hope that pays off next year. But what does it mean for this year? You hope it just comes together. They're at home, but you hope maybe it comes together like a Tennessee performance earlier in the season, and you just play well over your heads. And as you said, TJ, there are points. Look, even early on versus LSU, they had 2 4th-down stops in that game. Early on versus Missouri, they got some stops. So, in the first quarter of games, after the first drive, they've done some good things to give the offense a chance to maybe build a lead. And then if they can do it again, maybe the offense this time will put some complementary football in the field and help them out just a bit more early on in the games. But like I said, the offense isn't the issue, but maybe some more complementary football. So maybe another good start again, and get the crowd behind you, keep the crowd engaged for this game, but find a way to limit explosives. And that's the most dangerous part of this is Florida's one of the worst teams in giving up explosives, and FSU is one of the best teams in getting explosives. So that matchup is not a match made in heaven right now for Florida in the season finale. So it's all, TJ, there's not much you can really point to in truth, in schematic, in what we see every week. You just got to hope Florida plays over their head and the quarterback change kind of helps them out at the same time.
Yeah. Dave, I appreciate you for joining me. I know you'll be breaking down this game all week. Where can folks find you? Where can they see things from the Florida perspective and follow what you do?
Yeah, GatorsBreakdown.com. Of course, article stuff will be there. Podcast gets posted there, YouTube as well. And can follow me on Twitter at GatorDave_SEC.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, DJ.
If you are going to the game this weekend, come tailgate with us. If you're going to be anywhere in the area, listen, if you live Tampa, Orlando, wherever, and you don't have tickets to the game, come out to the tailgate. We're going to be showing the game at the tailgate. We'll have a ton of food, a ton of booze. Guthrie's, as always, will be out there for you guys. I know that's really the only reason you come. It's not to see me or the games or anything like that, but we will have a blast. We've been doing this. We started in Orlando. We're finishing up in Gainesville. Actually, we'll be in Charlotte and then hopefully the playoff too. But finishing up the regular season in Gainesville, we'll have a ton of fun. It's Noles Gators 2023.eventbrite.com. Link is in the description as well. We'll pin a comment with that there for you guys. Come hang out with us. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Saturday.